Scanning. Identity authorized. Welcome to the Secret Superhero Club Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Animation Station Podcast, your home for discussions and debates about all things animation. Each week, we'll rank, review, and revel in animated shows from yesterday and today, and from around the world. So grab your Acme slingshot, set your mobile suit to autopilot, and put on your mouse ears. The Animation Station Podcast begins now.
I'm reading a book right now.
Yeah?
Dreams and Shadows by Robert Cargill.
Okay.
Fantastic book.
What is it?
It's kind of like fairy-ish, like our first...
Fairy tale-ish?
No, fairy-ish.
Fairy-ish.
Like with the fae.
Okay.
So, let's see, I say fae and you got it. So, that's how I know you're a nerd like me. You know what fae are. So, yeah, it's about the fae,
Okay.
and, basically... everything is real. So, like, there's Jinn in this movie, or in this book. So there's Jinn, there's angels, and the angels are freaking hilarious because they're like, man, God left. This sucks. Let's get drunk.
So they're kind of like from Dogma?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're like that sometimes when Castiel gets a little bit plastered in Supernatural. That's how they turn.
Good times.
He's just like,
good time.
Man, don't have anything to do. This sucks. Could watch over people, but they're jerks.
Nah.
Alrighty.
Cool.
Alright, Gavin, so this is episode number 6
I think we're on 6.
of the Animation Station.
Half a dozen.
Yeah.
Didn't I hear that that most podcasts either last 6 episodes or 6 months, and then they're kaput?
And then they're dead. Yeah.
All right. Well, we get through this one, and we've reached milestone 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
Milestone 1.
Excellent.
We won't put another one out for 7 months. And then come back, episode 7!
Just to be safe.
So, yeah. So, this is episode 6 of the Animation Station podcast. Yeah. Bleh.
Blah, 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 blah.
It's usually at the end of the podcast that I can't talk.
That's true. You lose it towards the end.
All right, let's start all over. This is episode 7. This is an episode 7. Dang it!
We're going to have a blooper reel on this
Oh,
one.
man. All right, thanks for listening to... We're not even done! Oh, God. I'm bad at it. Gavin, do it.
All right, welcome to Animation Station. This is episode 6. How's it going, Josh?
I'm great. How's it going, Gavin?
I'm great, too.
That's
We're going to talk
awesome.
about a fun movie today. I'm really excited about this one.
Yes, this was your pick.
It was my
and
pick.
I'm glad you picked this movie.
Yeah?
I hadn't seen it. Like, my background with this movie, my school took us to go see this movie when I was, I don't even know how old that would be.
Well,
math.
it was 1998.
1998.
Mm-hmm.
So, math. I would have been 10.
Nice.
Yeah, that would have been my 10th. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly on the day of my 10th birthday.
Nice.
I was born December 18th. So everything that comes out December 18th, I love. Like this came out. I think 1 or 2 of the Lord of the Rings movies came out.
Okay.
Force Awakens came out on the 18th.
yeah, that was the 18th.
So yeah, I
Excellent.
get awesome birthday stuff. I'm always
Cool.
a week before Christmas.
And so your class went? Like, they went
The
as a
whole
class?
school. They took the whole entire
Wow.
school. Which again, that's like 100 kids, so it's not like a bunch.
I would be willing to guess it was a religious school.
No. Yeah, a
That's
little
cool,
bit.
though. That's,
Yeah, so
that's
they
quite
took
a
us all,
birthday
and
treat.
it was great. Yeah,
Nice.
and I think I may have seen it. I think it's probably been 12, 13 years since I last saw this movie. And listening to the music,
Yeah.
I remembered all of it. I was like,
It's
oh,
got
yeah,
really
yeah.
good music. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So in case you guys missed it, we are talking about The Prince of Egypt today
Yes.
from DreamWorks Animation. And I don't want to get a whole lot into history about it. It's a
That's
pretty...
what I'm here for, guys.
Yeah, no, I mean...
If you have questions about the Book of Exodus, just let me know.
No, I mean, not the history of Exodus. I mean, I think most people know the history of Exodus, but I'm talking about DreamWorks and the movie itself. But it was basically the first greenlit animated project from DreamWorks once they started. it didn't come out first. That crappy movie Ants came out before it. But this one
had
was
Woody Allen in it.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, it was something else. They were trying to compete with A Bug's Life from Pixar, and I don't think they did a very good job. Anyway, then they came out with Prince of Egypt, and oh my gosh, did they hit the nail on the head?
Yes.
Because it is one of the most fantastic animated movies of all time. I think it's right up there with the best animated films of the 90s, which is saying something because that's when you had all those Titanic films that Disney put out. And this movie has captivated me from the first time that I saw it. I think that it is an amazing retelling of probably one of the most famous stories throughout the world. I mean, it's a story that kind of shaped a lot of the world. It stemmed a lot of the cultural and religious ideals in the Western Hemisphere and in the Middle East. And so it's been told before, and you would think it would be just, another Joseph or Moses story and, about the book of Exodus. But they do such a great job of bringing that to life and all the drama and the adventure and the intense events of that story. And I think they do it so well with pacing, with action, with incredible effects, with beautiful art, with wonderful music. It is so well done, top to bottom. And I'm just always impressed with it. Every time I see it, I think it stands up today to the best animation of today. The effects that went into it, the CG. Here's what I think about Prince of Egypt. I think it might be the very best blending of 2D and 3D animation. It is seamless.
Yeah.
So many of those Disney movies that I love from the 90s have moments where they bring in a CG element and it stands out like a sore thumb. And I'm thinking of like the ballroom scene in Beauty and the Beast. Clearly is just a little too slick for the rest of the film. You've got the Cave of Wonders escape in Aladdin, where all the walls are flying by and they're clearly lit a little bit differently because they're CG. What's the Hydra in Hercules?
Oh God, the Hydra. That's probably the worst part of that movie. It sticks out a lot.
And then you come to Prince of Egypt, and I think of the water effects and some of the smoke and magic effects.
Oh, dude, the smoke and stuff. Like when he sticks his staff in the Nile, and it turns into blood. That is so freaking good. Incredibly good.
All of the water effects are unbelievable in that movie. And I think they did things that Disney couldn't even do because they made a concerted effort to do it. And they put in, back then rendering time for CG animation was epic. And, it just took them so long just to render some of those scenes. And the fact that they were willing to do it, to put in the work, to make it so spectacular has a huge payoff. I think this movie, in my book, is the most epic animated movie.
I can see that. I mean, that's just the art and the casting. The casting for the movie is ridiculous. Let's see. Let's pull this up here.
Let's name them all.
We've got. I'll say the actors' names. You can tell me you just tell me who they played.
I'll try and remember all the character names. Yes.
We've got Val Kilmer.
Okay, he plays both Moses and God. Double billing.
No, that's pretty cool.
Is that where he became the Val Kilmer that we know and love today?
Probably. He was like, okay, so I'm gonna play Moses. Yeah, feel like I should play someone a little bit higher too. Do you want to play God? Yes, I do. We've got Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah, he plays Ramses.
Good old Voldemort. Michelle Pfeiffer.
Zipporah, who becomes Moses' wife.
Sandra Bullock.
Here's his sister Miriam.
Mother frickin' Ian Malcolm, Jeff Goldblum himself.
He plays brother Aaron.
We've got Danny Glover.
In his best movie, and he plays Jethro.
No, I don't know. He was the president in one of those movies. Like Deep Impact, I think.
Yeah, no.
Sir Patrick, I don't think he's been knighted, hasn't he? Sir Patrick Stewart.
If he hasn't, he should have been.
I think he's been knighted. Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, he's Seti, the original Pharaoh.
Helen Mirren.
The Queen.
Steve Martin.
Oh, I love these two. He plays Hotep.
And Martin Short.
He plays Hui.
Yes.
And they are amazing. What a duo they are in that movie. They're kind of the answer to Timon and Pumbaa, or you just have this little duo that comes in for some comedy.
Listening to it, I was like, that's totally, I can't remember their names in Hercules.
The Hades sidekicks?
Pain and Panic?
Pain and Panic, yes, that's correct.
That's who I
them
thought.
with a little show-busy flair, and I love it.
Of Steve Martin and Martin Short.
Yeah, exactly, and the fact that they're, bringing some magic to the court and, trying to fool everybody into thinking that they're powerful, and they're just doing, tricks.
Yeah.
That's great, and knowing that Steve Martin is a, longtime magician, I just think it's the perfect role for them. And that scene where they do their song, "You're Playing with the Big Boys Now," I love it.
I just like because they go through all the a bunch of the Egyptian gods, and they use enunciation and I'm sorry, not enunciation, pronunciation of all their names. I'm like, good job, guys.
Yeah,
that's really
very cool.
Because you could have been like Seti.
Yeah.
Nefertiti.
Well, there's so much authenticity to this movie. They studied Egypt when they made it. They took trips there, and they even consulted religious figures. They consulted some Jewish leaders, some Christian leaders, some Arab leaders. Like they really went all out and wanted to go for an authentic look and feel for this. And I've always been fascinated with Egyptology, and when this movie came out, I was just blown away that they were creating environments that took us right into a living, breathing ancient Egypt with those huge, awe-inspiring temples and columns and all the pictographs. And man, it kills me every time I see it. Just great set design in that movie.
Yeah, like watching this again, I was like, I want to go to Egypt.
Oh, I definitely do. I always have.
It's one of those, nowadays it's not.
Yeah,
in 1998 would have been possible.
Maybe,
but,
yeah. I mean, it's always, from our perspective, it does seem a little dicey sometimes when you think of traveling to the Middle East or North Africa. And but I mean, there's a large tourist trade in Egypt, and I would love to partake in that someday. And
that's what their main export is, and it's tourism.
It may be. I don't know what their economy is really driven by, but I would imagine that's a large part of it. Yeah.
But I mean, okay, so we talked about the actors.
Mm-hmm. Who did a great job. I don't actually feel like there is a single actor that drops the ball in that movie.
I forgot that was Val Kilmer.
Oh, he does a fantastic job.
Yeah, I was like,
so
geez, that is Val Kilmer.
Well, and we talked about how he played both Moses and God. Mm-hmm. The reason they did that is when they were going to figure out what do we want God to sound like, they were trying to figure out something unique. And they basically, they looked at film and they looked at other examples of, if we have God in a movie, what does he sound like? Well, after they went through this process, they kind of came up with this idea that they wondered what if when God speaks to you, it's just kind of like the voice in your head. So it's almost like you hear your own voice. It's God speaking, but because, we kind of hear our own voice in our head, that's what they decided to go with as the concept. So it's kind of a lighter, softer Val Kilmer. I mean, he voices it, but he kind of speaks in a softer, more soothing tone, less of a baritone than he uses in his Moses voice. And it's a really fascinating choice to make, and I think it's a really good choice because it ended up being unique, and it totally worked.
Yeah, there's another thing about this movie that I noticed, and I was expecting more of it, but they did not throw religion at your face.
No, I mean, it's a historical story, nice. So I think they could
because I mean they didn't say like my
lane.
God's better than your God. They never did like a the God of the Hebrews is better than all of the Egyptian gods. They never did that. All they basically said was the God of my people says to let them go.
Right.
And they'd be like, well, our gods say, sawed off, pretty much. So
right.
I thought that was nice, a nice little contrast that they never actually came out and said, anything, about either set of religions.
Yeah, there definitely wasn't any browbeating in it, and I think that lended it some of its success, and
it made $218 million when it was in the box office.
Yeah,
so.
And like I said, it was that story's been told a million times, and everybody knows the story. It's not like they're saying anything new, so they don't need to preach with it. They're just trying to, and I think they do a better job than any other example I've ever seen. They're trying to express all of the emotion and intensity and gravity of that story, and I think they do it so much better than any other iteration I've seen. I love the old movie Ten Commandments with Charlton Heston. It's epic as hell, but what they do in this movie captures so much more about it. That
one kind of.
Yeah, it's there. I love all those epic films, but I think this one just does such a better job because they're able to pull off better effects, and they're able to animate things that can really pull at you and draw feeling from you and get you to understand what it would be like to be a Hebrew in that situation. Also, what it would be like to be an Egyptian in that situation. I like how they showed you all those angles and just those different attitudes and the things that they would have been culturally accustomed to. And I thought they did a great job with it. And, we were talking about the acting. I don't think anybody drops the ball. I think the acting is so good. There's not a bad choice in there, and they all make great characters, top to bottom.
Yeah, I only have one problem with the anime. I didn't have any problem with the, maybe, what's her name? Is it Miriam? Is that his younger sister?
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah. Her little kid voice.
Oh, when she was a kid.
I didn't think it fit.
I got the impression that was an adult putting on a little kid voice.
That's exactly what it sounded like.
I agree. There may be a little bit of a hitch with that moment.
And then there was one part...
We're really nitpicking at this point.
I know, and then there was one part... there's one part of the animation that I thought was weird.
What's that?
At the very... right after the whole... they did the chariot race thing, and they're going back to the palace.
Mm-hmm.
It shows them, and you see them talking to each other.
Yeah.
And in front of them, their horses are pulling them, but the horses don't have heads.
The horses don't have heads?
The horses don't have heads. It's like...
They're not just leaning, like their heads aren't pointed down?
Unless they're leaning, really, really far. Because, when we watch the movie, their heads are up pretty much the whole time. But this time, it's their neck, and then they're like, oh, we don't need to finish it. That's what it looked like. That was what it looked like.
I would assume their heads are just pointed down. We should watch that after we're done with this.
Yeah, and I was looking at it and I was like, that's really weird.
Yeah.
But that was my only other... The one part that I absolutely loved, and I wish that I could get maybe a still from it or something like that, but it's when they find baby Moses. They did it in this scene and then one other scene. It's when they find Moses and not Pharaoh S.
Oh, the Queen.
The Queen.
Yeah.
The Queen and her two handmaidens are with baby Ramses.
Yeah.
And you just they're wearing those white
the linens.
Yeah. And then just their bodies underneath it.
Yeah.
I thought that was really well done.
It's really beautiful.
They
did a great job of, and the character designs of all the Egyptians had a very certain look, and then the character designs of the Hebrews had a very certain look. And they did a great job distinguishing those two and showing you the difference. And everything in that movie it's nailed down so well. The only slight things that I have a problem with, there are a couple of character designs which I don't know. I don't know Moses. If it's because they were trying to over stylize some things. I like Moses a lot, but
I like young
Zipporah has a strange look to me.
The fact that she looks like Pocahontas.
Well, not really. I don't think she looks like Pocahontas. I think she's
like Pocahontas mixed with Tia Carrere.
Tia Carrere a little bit. I just feel like the proportions of her face are a little bit off, and I think the eyes are a little wide set. I think the nose is a little long and tiny at the same time. It's a strange look to me, and I don't know if there is, because she was from the Nubians or something other, some other North African tribe, and I mean, that may be more of an accurate look. I don't know. I'm not trying to be insensitive culturally or anthropologically or whatever.
But we're talking.
But
Yeah,
I'm just
also we're
saying,
talking from an art perspective.
yeah, just from an art perspective, she's got kind of a weird look to me.
Yeah.
And like she makes some faces like when she was pissed off when
Yeah,
she got brought before the court.
Yeah.
And then it's like, wow, they did some interesting choices there. And so I don't know. Every time I watch that movie, her face is just a little strange to me.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think the animation is pretty spectacular. They do some, I feel like they do some action and some human movement in this that I don't see in other movies. You know, real stuff of people falling over and, you know, like a leg flying up because, you know, your momentum would just carry you that way.
Yeah.
And really neat angles of things that you don't see in a lot of movies. Like, you know, Ramses is riding his chariot up above, and Moses is like, yeah, but the view's not very good, and you kind of see up his little tunic there. And, you know, I mean, it's just funny, clever things like that you don't see in a lot of other movies. And I appreciate that, the different angles that you see a lot of these characters in.
I had problems with Moses' head.
Really?
Yeah. It seemed bizarre. Like, when he's grown up, like, not when he's a teenage, whatever, he looks totally fine. But when he grows up, his hair kind of sticks off to the side a little bit, and it looks like he's pressed in.
It looks like he has a T-shaped head.
Yeah, and it looks like his head shrunk.
I think that's more the hair and the beard, and I think it's meant
but
to.
He looks proportional when he's younger, but he doesn't look proportional.
Well,
it looks
it's the
like
wig though when he's younger.
Well, even when he
rounds
has the short hair after he gets rid of his wig, he still looks proportional, but then his head doesn't seem to fit his body. And it may be because he's wearing all the big clothes too at that point.
Yeah, I think that's part of it.
I don't know, for whatever reason, it just never clicked with me. I was like,
he
still looked weird.
He totally clicks with me. I think he's one of my favorite character designs ever. I love his character design. I think he did a good job.
Young Moses until he gets he just looks ugly.
Awesome. Well, I mean, I think this movie is supreme. Like I said, I just think there's very little wrong with it. Did we talk about the music yet?
We haven't talked about the music.
Let's talk about the music.
I want real quick before we go into the music. There was one piece that I thought was really, really well done.
Okay.
It's when Patrick Stewart's talking, and he's kind of like chastising Ramsey and Moses for their whole thing. And you see his
yes, I know exactly where you're going
in the background, and then he goes up and does the exact same pose.
Yeah, you see them
right
both
in front
in
of
profile.
It. That's so good.
I agree. That's
it's
one of my favorite
cool.
moments. Yeah, I love all of the architecture and design work they did in both the temples and formal spaces of the city, and also in the Hebrew village. I think all of that design work is so amazing, and from what limited knowledge I have of Egyptology, just having an interest in it, but not having studied it, everything looks so accurate to me. You know, everything looks, the colors, the materials, the scale. I think they ramped up the scale a little bit just to make it a little more awe-inspiring, but in any case, there are some epically huge monuments and structures in ancient Egypt. You know, the ones that still are around that we can see. There's probably more that have crumbled in time or buried in sand that we'll never know of. But you know, all of those elements were so well done, and I love that they used so much color in the temples and the pictographs, because we know from those preserved places that haven't been, weather eroded or what have you, they use tons of paint on those stone carvings, and that makes it more fascinating to me. And the fact that we were able to see it as if it was living and alive today is one of the neat things about this movie. And I think we mentioned it in one of our other podcasts. I don't remember which one it was, but we talked about the dream sequence where Moses comes back from running into Miriam and Aaron.
He's all in hieroglyphics.
And he has that nightmare in hieroglyphics. And I think that is one of the most fascinating choices you could do, because I just imagine a person growing up around those things and growing up in that world. That's how you process things. That's your language. That's your visual cue for so many things. And the idea that you would dream in hieroglyphs makes sense to me. But I never would have thought of it until I saw that movie, and I think it's wonderful.
All right, let's go into the music.
Let's. Hans Zimmer. Yes. And Steven Schwartz.
So yeah, Hans Zimmer did the score, and Schwartz does all the songs.
Yeah. What a duo they made. This soundtrack is both haunting and uplifting at the same time. I love it.
Because let's see, the first song that we have is...
The first song is Deliver Us, right?
Deliver Us, yeah.
Yeah, so good. It kind of reminds me of
it's
Arabian Nights, but serious.
It's like 3 songs in one.
Yeah.
And it's great. I love that they only do it in the songs. They don't do it in the in the actual dialogue. Mm-hmm. But this is one of 2 songs, I think. 2 that I know of. Mm-hmm. Maybe third. Maybe the third one with...
Maybe 4?
No, I think maybe only 3 where they actually use Hebrew.
Could it be 5?
I don't think they use Hebrew in 5 songs. But yeah, I think there's 3 songs that they use Hebrew.
Probably 6 then.
You
can't punch me. I'm behind my microphone. You can't punch me.
I know what. All I have to do is move your microphone forward
and knock my teeth out.
But yeah.
Yeah, they did use Hebrew in at least 2 of the songs.
Because we have that
maybe
one.
Maybe more.
That
they
one,
do in the song with all the slaves. No, when they're making when they're stomping the mud and
that's the one song.
Is that part of the same song?
That's all one. That's all
You're
one.
Right.
It's a 7-minute song.
That's why it's 3 songs in one. Yeah, they definitely use Hebrew in that song. Mm-hmm. And which one? When they're leaving.
When they're leaving.
When they're exiting.
Yeah, and at the very end, it's when they're exiting, and then the kids sing, and the little girls, and then the choir behind starts singing in Hebrew too.
God, I love the way that song builds. It just starts with this slow little ballad, and then it turns into this joyous chorus. It's wonderful music, just really good.
And then there's Playing with the Big Boys Now.
Such a good song.
I mean, I knew Steve Martin could kind of sing because I've heard him on SNL a couple times, but he and Martin Short together. It's
dynamite.
Really, really good.
They do.
It's
such a good
one of
job.
my favorite songs.
Yeah, and it's such a great scene too. The staging of it, and kind of you get to see a lot of the interplay between that court magic versus maybe some real actual power of God stuff going on. And while they're razzling dazzling the crowd, Moses' staff eats the other snakes, and nobody sees that because of all
the crowd,
smoke
at the end,
and
they're like, you guys were great.
Yeah, it's a really good scene, and that song is great. They handle it very well. Yeah, and it's good because it's a case where they wrote a song that could sit in the wheelhouse of 2 people who, they're not singers, they're comedians, but they can sing a little, and they wrote this song in a key and in a range that they could both just handle and inject some of their comedy into it, and so it's perfect. You don't need some powerhouse singer to come in and sing that. It's a perfect choice.
Yeah.
Great job.
And I didn't really think, we needed a powerhouse singer to come in and sing. Probably one of my favorite songs. I like the majority of the singing song. Well,
so
actually,
good.
I think I like all of them. How many songs are there? Oh, I did say
lot.
I didn't like the... Brother, oh brother.
Well, you just didn't like the performance of that one.
Ugh, so bad.
Well, I mean, this soundtrack is so epic. Not only did it give us a pop cover by Boyz II Men, it also gives us the only duet between Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey, because they're the ones that did the commercial version of When You Believe. And it was a big hit.
Yeah.
That's impressive to get those 2 divas together on a track.
And we can't forget, we also have a song by Amy Grant.
We do? I forgot Amy Grant.
Who used to be extremely popular.
She does the River Lullaby.
Yeah.
Excellent. It's a beautiful melody. I really do love it. It's the kind of soundtrack that sticks with you for days. I'll be humming these songs all week.
Yes.
And enjoying it while I do.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what I've been doing for the last couple days. I've been on YouTube just listening to the soundtracks.
Yeah, definitely. So...
but yeah, then we have the Through Heaven's Eyes.
Yeah, that's a good song.
That one's really good.
Yeah.
Because there we get our progression of time.
Yeah, that's where we get our montage. Mm-hmm. Every movie's got to have one that's an epic like this, and this is a really good one. I love the pacing of this movie in general. I think they do a great job of slowing down when they need to and speeding up when they need to. And they allow you to really feel like time is passing and like specifically the character of Moses is evolving.
Yeah.
And they do such a great job with it. And a lot of what they do it through music or through the score that Hans Zimmer did. And I agree, that song is great. And it goes right into that scene where he's out tending his flock and, sees the burning bush and we get to hear God speak. And what a fantastic version of that scene. Yeah. It's so well done.
And I like how they interplay, because I'm not 100% sure if it's Moses' theme or like I'm not 100% sure, but they keep playing that little interlude from Deliver Us throughout the whole movie. It just different points, like they do it in the hieroglyph scene. They do it all over the place. They just that little interlude that they just keep putting everywhere. So it's like, you know this song. Yeah. I think that's nice. So whenever you hear it, you're like, oh, yep, there it is.
There it is. There he is. Yeah, just we can't say enough good things about this movie. It's one of the best. So let's rank it. Rate it. Sorry, let's rate it. Give it 5. What do you want to use as your rating scale this time?
Oh man, I need to have like a list.
Out of 5 Ra's?
I did what?
Ra, the sun god.
Oh dude,
Anubis.
Ra's my homeboy.
All right.
He was in that first Stargate movie. But I'm gonna go off of some Stargate SG-1. So I'm gonna give it some Apophis.
Oh my gosh, that's lame. It's not even animated.
Everyone loves Apophis.
No, go animated.
Well, Ra was never animated.
He's mentioned in this movie.
So's Apophis and
okay,
Anubis.
do it out of Setis then.
Or
out of Pharaohs. Let's just go Pharaohs.
Out of Pharaohs.
Yeah.
5 Pharaohs.
5 Pharaohs. 5. Nice. I give this out of 5 Jiminy Crickets. This is one of my 5s.
Oh crap! I was drinking.
I adore this movie, and it gets a 5 from me. It's one of very, very few animated movies that gets a 5.
We have to find a movie that one of us hates. There's something that one of us hates. So, because so far we're
pretty close.
We both liked our stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
So we need to find something. So you'll make me watch like Cars or something.
And you'll love it. You'll give it like a 4.5 at least.
4.5 out of like 176 maybe. Yeah, so we need to find something we don't really.
No, that shouldn't be the goal. The goal should be to show us things that we like.
But we need some sort of contrast.
There will be. You're going to take me down to Anime Town, and I'm going to struggle.
Going down to Anime Town.
I'm definitely going to struggle.
But yeah, I mean, this was I don't know. I want to buy this now.
Oh, you should own this. You don't own it?
I don't own it.
Oh, you should.
Dude, like I said,
everybody's lucky right now because it's streaming on Netflix, right?
Yes,
that's where you watched it.
That's where I watched it.
Excellent. Yeah, if you haven't seen this and you don't own it, go stream it on Netflix.
It's great.
You should have already because we would have posted days ago.
Yeah.
But if you haven't, do it now.
If you haven't, why are you listening to this? We already told you what we're talking about. But yeah.
You ready for a top 5?
Yeah, I think we can go ahead and jump into that top 5.
All right, let's do top 5 next.
Jeffrey! Do it.
And now for another top 5.
All right, Josh Kane, are you ready to do battle in the top 5 arena?
Let's do it.
Yes. All right, so it's my turn to go first, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this week, everybody, we are ranking our top 5 animated vehicles. So this should be interesting.
You don't make it easy.
What do you mean? Just because I give you too many options?
You give me all the options in the world.
Well, yeah. We want to have some that are wide open. We'll narrow some other ones down to Disney or to DreamWorks or Studio Ghibli, something like that. But this one's a broad spectrum. So any animated vehicles can go on your list. So I'll kick it off. My 5th ranked vehicle. It's an oldie but a goodie, and one that probably not many people know.
Speed Buggy.
No, it's definitely not Speed Buggy, which you just told me about today at lunch.
I can't do Speed Buggy.
Is that what he sounds like? He sounds like Porky Pig, but a car?
Well, he's like... You know, it's like, yeah, it's great.
Nice. Yeah, not Speed Buggy. No, there's a Mickey Mouse cartoon. It's got Mickey Mouse, Donald, and Goofy in it. I believe it's from the 40s, and it's called Mickey's Trailer. And this trailer has all the gadgets you could think of in a trailer, all the little pop-out things and all the bells and whistles, and it's a hilarious little cartoon. It actually inspired an idea that I have for the design of an attraction for the Disney parks. I really want to make a ride based on this short film. It's amazing. But anyway, my pick for number 5 is the actual trailer. And if you want to go to YouTube, you can watch it. It's called Mickey's Trailer. It's like a 9-minute cartoon is all. It's worth a watch. It's hilarious. It's classic Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. So it's well worth it.
Okay.
That's my number 5.
Never heard of it.
You need to go watch it. I'm telling you, it's good.
All right. Oh, man. See, I had a feeling Gavin's going to pull some crazy random thing from a 13-second skit that Walt Disney did right before, right after World War II. He's like, okay, so we have 13 seconds of stuff that's just on the cutting room floor. Throw it together, draw a car, boom, Gavin's going to choose it.
There's no throwing together at Disney. Just so you know.
All right, my number 5. My number 5, I also went kind of old.
Okay.
It's on the same lines as Speed Buggy. But I went the Mystery Machine.
Nice.
Scooby-Doo and Scooby and Scrappy and the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo and the New Adventures of Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated and all the other Scooby-Doos throughout time.
There were that many different TV series?
Yeah, there's like 30 TVs. Yeah, dude, have you ever seen the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo?
No, I don't like Scooby-Doo, so I didn't watch.
Yeah, it's
anymore.
crap. And Scrappy's in it, and that's just awful. But Vincent Price is in there.
Nice.
And he also does like the intro.
Oh, that's
cool.
That's
really
very
cool.
I do. I said I don't like Scooby-Doo, and that's true. But I do like the Mystery Machine. That is a groovy van.
Yes. You don't know what's going on in the back of that van.
Oh, all kinds of fun, I bet.
Giggity. All right, Jesus, get off this.
All right, back to me.
Number 4.
Number 4 is from my favorite Studio Ghibli movie, My Neighbor Totoro.
Cat
Do you know
bus?
what it is? Yes, the famous cat bus.
I thought you were going to go his moving castle.
No, that's in Howl's Moving Castle.
I'm about to throw this. I know it's in Howl's Moving Castle. But when you went Ghibli, I was like, he's going to go Howl's Moving Castle.
I wanted to put Howl's Moving Castle on my list, but I couldn't do 2 Ghibli ones. If I'm going Ghibli, I'm going Cat Bus. Cat Bus is where it's at. So that's my number 4.
Nice. Okay. My number 4, I went back in time again to a little cartoon called Speed Racer.
Oh, okay.
And I chose the Mach 5.
Nice.
Because, dude, that car's so cool.
I don't think I've ever watched Speed Racer, like at all.
Why?
It was, I find it
Did you not have like Boomerang or like Cartoon Network back in the day?
Well, when I was a kid, Cartoon Network wasn't a thing, first of all. Second
they
of
still
all,
had Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
They did, but what I realized when I ventured out of my hometown as an adult and began speaking with people about what they watched as kids is back in the 80s and earlier, a lot of television, especially children's television, was regional. So people that I met that grew up in other states had a completely different venue of cartoons that they were able to partake in on their Saturday morning than I had. And I had cartoons that they'd never heard of. So I think there's a lot of things that, like Speed Racer is one of those. I never even heard of it until I was in college. Like it didn't even exist in my world. Okay. So, and I just have never gone back and watched it.
All right.
Is it a good cartoon?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
There's a chimp.
I knew there was a chimp.
And he gets in the back. He gets in the trunk with a little boy who, for whatever reason, decides that they're gonna go on races.
Nice.
Like, that's incredibly dangerous because like every race in Speed Racer is someone wants to kill Speed. Like you're gonna die, kid. So let's sneak in and help Speed Racer. Like no, that's not a bad idea. That's very bad. Do not do that.
So not big on the safety.
Yeah, it has like oil slicks and stuff like. Yeah, it's crazy.
So is that all they do in that show is race?
Race, and then there's drama, and there's type stuff.
Okay.
Like, what? Like, really big overacting.
Okay.
It's hilarious.
Is that an American show or is it a
No,
Japanese
it's
show?
Japanese.
Okay, I thought it was Japanese. I wasn't sure. Excellent. Yeah, see, when I was growing up, I don't think anything Japanese had really come over besides... Well, were the Transformers... They were Japanese, right?
I don't know. I never cared about Transformers.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Number 3? Are we on 3?
3!
I think so. All right. So I'm going to the world of stop motion animation for this one, and a franchise called Wallace and Gromit. Have you seen any of those shows?
Maybe.
We're going to have to watch some of that. Anyway, in one of their original short films called A Close Shave, it features quite prominently their motorcycle and sidecar. And it is the coolest, neatest little motorcycle and sidecar. And there's this one scene in particular where they're in a chase scene and they're pursuing another vehicle, and they have to split apart. So the motorcycle goes one way and the sidecar goes another way. Well, the sidecar has Gromit in it, the little dog, and he basically, like, the road ends and he goes off a cliff. And he has a little button he pushes and it turns into the cutest little airplane. Like, just wings come out, propeller comes out, and he just flies up into the air. And it's so adorable and so BA at the same time. I love it.
Okay.
You need to watch this stuff.
Oh, man. See...
It's like happy, magical, animated stuff.
Your stuff is just all over the place, man.
Yeah, vehicles is a broad category. Bring it with some variety, Josh Kane.
Dude,
you got 3 more race cars?
A Mystery Machine and the Mach 5?
Yeah, they're just 2 vehicles, like 2 cars.
Well, I'm going to go a little bit different.
All right.
We're going to go from the anime.
Oh, okay.
We're going to go Big O.
Big O.
The Big O, yeah. From
the Big O.
Well, it's the Big O from Big O. Forget it. It's basically, it's Batman and, like, Gundam mixed together. So he's like Batman and a Meg. Because the dude is basically Bruce Wayne.
Oh, okay.
He's suave, millionaire, playboy, philanthropist, not Tony Stark. The one before Tony Stark who's cooler. So, yeah, that's basically what he is. And he gets in the big mech and they fight some, monsters and other mechs and stuff.
So what is this vehicle exactly?
It's a big, giant mech guy.
So basically like a big suit that walks and fights, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like an Ava from Evangelion.
Okay.
All right.
That
you know.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
So it's like an Ava.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm
or a Gundam for people that don't like Avas.
Or a big walkie-sooty punchy thing.
Yes.
For the rest of us.
Like a big walkie-sooty punchy. Go number 2. Number 2.
No, that's a good pick. I like your pick. I don't have any of those on my list because I don't really know.
The next one's going to be from the 50s, folks.
No, the next one is from the 80s actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And actually it was something that our friend Aaron tipped me off to today at lunch because I had forgotten
Speed
about
Buggy.
this one. No, that's
Dang
you
it.
again, and nobody's picking Speed Buggy.
He's in my honorable mentions.
No, he shouldn't be. Anyway, it's Benny, the taxi cab from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, yeah.
That is one of my favorite cars. Like, when I was a kid, I loved that car. I loved that movie, but I thought Benny was hilarious. That's a good car.
Okay. Again, I saw that once when I was maybe like 8.
Man, you need to watch it again. It's so good. It's just such a great movie.
Too bad it's not an animated movie for us to watch on the podcast.
Well, we can just watch it just 'cause.
Yeah, sure.
And it's mostly animated.
I don't watch things just 'cause. Unless it's Starship Troopers.
Just 'cause I say you do.
Or Jurassic Park. Those I'll watch all the time.
Jurassic Park.
All day, every day. My number 2? Yeah, we're number 2. My number 2, we're going to stay away from anime.
Ooh.
We're going to go the Batmobile from Batman the Animated Series.
I figured that was going to make an appearance here.
And just any of the Batmobiles that have been animated throughout the years.
So which ones have been animated, though? Because
well, I think he had... Did he have a Batmobile in Batman Beyond? I know he had that glider that he used a lot. The Batwing thing. I think he had a car.
Yeah.
In Batman Beyond. Yeah, he's like... Batman's got like all kinds of vehicles in... Justice League.
So, like in Batman the Animated Series, what did the Batmobile look like? Like, related to one of the movies. What did it look closest to?
Kind of like the Val Kilmer. Not the Val Kilmer one. Ugh, gross. Kind of like the first one with Keaton.
Oh,
you know how it's big and long?
Uh-huh. With the big fins on it?
Except take the stupid fins off because they serve no purpose.
Well, the only thing I didn't like about the fins in the movie is that they weren't real sturdy, so they
They
kind of
wobbled.
Even as a kid, I was like, they could have done
It's
better
like,
on
that
that.
thing's gonna take off and fly. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. I don't think I've seen enough of the Batman cartoons to picture the animated versions of the Batmobile.
Man, yeah, we'll get you into some of those.
Cool.
Paul Dini action.
Nice.
Okay. Number 1. Wait, do you have any honorable mentions?
Honorable mention. Well, yeah, I think my honorable mention would be Howl's Moving Castle.
Okay.
That one was really close to making my list, but Cat Bus beat it out because I like the Cat Bus a lot.
All right, fair play. Fair play.
And I didn't really have any others that were close. I thought of some others, but I think that's it. I mean, technically, we could have gone with a lot of horses because horses are used as vehicles.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I also associate them with characters.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I
well,
mean-
a lot of my vehicles are characters. I think that's the difference between our list. Is a lot of yours are just vehicles. Mine are vehicles, but they're also
I'm not done.
characters. Well, I know, but so
I got
far,
one left.
so far. All right, we're up to number 1.
Numero uno.
Okay, so anybody that knows me knows that I am quite passionate about a particular Pixar movie known as Cars. So I
Mater.
could have populated my entire list with just the residents of Radiator Springs, but I had to put my very favorite car of all on the top of my list, the one and only Tow Mater. Crickets.
Oh, sorry, I fell asleep for a sec. You were
Whatever.
going on about Cars.
You give Cars
You
no
don't like
respect.
Lightning McQueen?
I love Lightning McQueen. He's great.
Well, then why?
But I like
why
Tow
is-
Mater better.
All right.
Mater is the heart and soul of that franchise, and he is
What about Doc?
Doc's dead.
Spoilers! He didn't die in the first one, did he?
I mean, basically, yeah, when you come back from the second one, it's like, yeah, he's gone. I mean, Paul Newman died, and he was the voice, so he died. But,
Single tear.
yeah.
Let's dump out some motor oil.
I
Pour
mean,
it out for our homies.
you got to give Cars more respect, man. You got to give it another chance.
Well, if you can go back in time and make it to where kids don't take those crappy little trading cards and throw them on the floor, make them hard for me to sweep up at the theater, and then vomit, cherry-flavored gummies that we used to sell all over those cards and all over the floors, then I may like it better.
Yeah, that's a pretty lame reason to not like a movie, though. I don't accept that argument.
I accept it.
All right. What's your number 1?
First, I've got some honorable mentions.
Oh, okay.
My number 1 honorable mention, Speed Buggy.
Oh my gosh, with
These
Speed Buggy.
Okay, so we were at lunch today at our wonderful job, and
our job.
you what, dude? We have people that listen.
Right.
Yeah, our wonderful job.
Yeah, our job.
To the people at work, I said wonderful, so just keep that in mind. But anyway, so we're at the cafeteria eating lunch, and we were talking about this subject, and I mentioned Speed Buggy. Nobody knew who Speed Buggy was. So I'm like, Speed Buggy was just like a ripoff of...
What did you say? It had 8 episodes?
Had 16.
Oh, 16 whole episodes back in the 70s.
Don't belittle it.
Yeah, it belittles itself.
So yeah, it was like 1973 or 4. It had 16 whole episodes, and I'm like, it's basically just a Hanna-Barbera ripoff of Scooby-Doo.
Right.
And I'm like, here you go, have this. It's like they look the exact same.
Do they solve mysteries?
I don't know.
Oh, you've never even seen the show?
I've only ever seen the crossovers with Scooby-Doo.
Oh my gosh.
But I knew he existed.
Okay.
I also knew that Jabberjaw... These guys also didn't know that Jabberjaw existed.
Yeah.
He's like, no respect. That's Jabberjaw, man.
I've never seen anything
And they didn't know that Josie and the Pussycats was a TV show. They knew it was a movie.
Yeah.
Josie and
well,
the
when the movie came out is when I
Pussycats.
became aware that it's from
Blah,
a
blah, blah,
cartoon.
blah, blah,
Are those the lyrics? Blah, blah, blah.
I don't know the lyrics. It's from the 70s.
Yeah,
dude.
again, those shows didn't play where I grew up. They were not on my TV.
Missing out, man.
We had other Hanna-Barbera, like Yogi Bear and stuff like that, but we did not have
You know what we'll do?
all those other...
To catch you up on some
Scooby-Doo
Hanna-Barbera
wannabes.
goodness, we'll watch some Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law.
I know Harvey Birdman.
Yeah, they talk. Speed Buggy's in there, and Jabberjaw's in there, and the
I mean, I didn't
Pussycats are
watch
in
Harvey
there.
Birdman, but I know what it is.
I've got like 2 seasons of Harvey Birdman.
So
we may
wait,
do Harvey Birdman.
they just bring on old Hanna-Barbera?
Yeah, dude, it's Hanna-Barbera's like, we've got the license to all of these, and they're just sitting around doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, We'll use them. We'll just put them in stupid scenarios.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's like,
Alright.
There's one episode where Fred Flintstone's the Godfather.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would have been a good vehicle, the Flintstones car.
It doesn't operate. I mean, it's
does.
foot power, man.
Yeah, it's like 8 foot power.
Well, like 2.
4 people power.
It even says in the thing, by the courtesy of Fred Sufit.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? They don't all...
No, are you kidding me? Do you think Wilma, she doesn't do anything at home?
Dude, she's too prissy.
She's like, Fred! That's my Wilma. I think it's pretty
good.
spot on.
It's pretty good.
She doesn't do anything. She's like, she doesn't even take care of Pebbles, really. She like comes in the scene, she's like, you are out bowling again.
Yeah, it's a real dynamite script on that show. That's for sure.
But yeah, we may do Harvey Birdman. Who knows?
Okay.
Then I had, for my second honorable mention...
Man, no, that's your third... This will be your third honorable mention.
No, I only had Speed Buggy.
Oh, and then you mentioned Jabberjaw.
Well, Jabberjaw's a shark.
Harvey Birdman.
You can't drive a Jabberjaw.
I guess you have a point there.
I mean, you can hold on to it like Free Willy style and like ride him. But I'm gonna go because I could. This was gonna be my number like on my list, but I couldn't decide which one I liked the best.
Okay.
So I put all of the Gundams.
Oh, okay.
So like
more
Death Psych, Heavy
mecha
Arms,
suits,
yeah, like I went all of them.
All right.
Just because I couldn't remember.
When
I
you
couldn't
say
think of my
all
favorite.
of them, what's a round figure?
I don't know how many Gundams are there.
Are we talking like
on
100?
my list that I was thinking of, probably about 7, 8.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't think of one.
Okay.
But
Well, you were just making a grand gesture with your arm, and I thought maybe there was 100.
Gesture with my dude. It's been going on since like the 70s, that show. So
yeah.
But my number one, numero uno, my ein, is going to be Evangelion Unit 1 from Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Nice.
So
I like it.
with pilot Shinji Ikari.
That's a good pick.
And at one point Rei. I think she pilots it once.
Pick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no Mater, but...
yeah, because mine can destroy Mater.
None of mine are
Plus,
about destruction.
mine is a character because it does go insane.
Kind of, yeah.
And it goes,
that's true.
And,
They're kind of semi-characters, I would say.
Eats an angel at one point.
Oof.
Yeah, like breaks it up. Eats it.
Wow.
Yeah, fun times.
Yeah, again, Josh goes darker than Gavin goes.
Yeah, you know.
That was a pretty good top 5. I knew that was going to be tons of variety.
Yeah.
We went all over the map there. We really did.
That a good top 5, good episode.
Yeah.
Thought it was pretty good.
Excellent.
Little Prince of Egypt accent.
Yeah.
Words. I see.
Words don't matter on the last
couple podcasts. I just at the end, so I just lose it. So.
Oh, hey, here's the question of the night. Do you have a sign off yet?
No, still don't have a sign off. It's been like 7 weeks. I don't have a sign off.
We need to come up with something we can do in unison.
Yeah. Until then, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh L. Kane.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Gavin Otteson Art.
Yep. Thanks a lot, guys, for listening. It was
Thanks,
quite
everybody.
fun. All right. Gavin, go ahead and give him your sign off.
Made you look.
Thank you for listening to the Animation Station Podcast. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Animation Station Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Animate Podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes. And join the conversation at SecretSuperheroClub.com, where you can connect with our podcast friends, Cloud City Cast, Getting Into Comics, and Shaun of the Gathering.